Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is your boy D with Torch Sports, and today I wanted to do, a quick video on the current state of the NBA playoffs. Now, for a lot of us, it really just feels like the playoffs haven't even started yet, and that's mainly because, there's 8 teams on both sides, and they really got to fight it out in the first round, and it's one of those situations where the cream rises to the top. Now, I feel like some of these series have an issue mainly because, of matchup, and some of these teams just really don't even deserve to be in the playoffs. Some conferences, the East more so than any other. There's really only like four legitimate teams that would even like that should even be in the playoffs. You know, so I really want to go over the series. I'm gonna go East West, like that, and just kind of go over like some of these series. Now, first, I just want to start with the Celtics Pacers. Even as dysfunctional that the Celtics have been lately, the Pacers just didn't have a chance in this game. Like, I mean, name a star for the Celtics, right? You can name like the whole starting five, like either future stars or current stars. Now, once Victor Oladipo went down, who did the Pacers have? Nobody. That's who. Nobody. So, of course, 4-0 series, Celtics close them out, and now they're sitting back waiting on the Bucks. Now let's go to the next series. Of course, the Warriors Clippers. I think the Warriors are showing a lot of heart, similar to what the Jazz did with the Rockets. But there's no question that they're going to close this out. I mean, the Clippers' best player comes off the bench. Let's just be honest here. He comes off the bench. They don't have a chance to win this series, so people are just kind of like, whatever. I'll pay attention to the playoffs later, you know. Then let's move on to the Raptors Magics. Uh, Man, look. Like I said, similar to the Celtics Pacer series, the Raptors have star power. The Magic don't. And Siakam has just turned into something else, man. He's coming alive. He's doing his thing, and dude trying to get paid. I ain't trying to stop your money, man. Go ahead and get it. So basically, Raptors up 3-1. They're gonna close that out. Then you have the Trailblazers Thunder. Now, most people would think, the Thunder should make this an interesting series. In my opinion, I thought it was going to be the most interesting matchup. I was kind of happy how the seeding played out because they could play each other. But in the end, the Trailblazers are just a better team. You can't win with Russell Westbrook as your leading player. He needs to be, someone's Robin. He can't be Batman. Just period. He can't be Batman. I don't think you should take the ball out of his hands, but at the same time, I don't think that he should be, your number one option. So of course, like I said, hey, the Trailblazers going to close this out. Dame the Great, he's going to put this away probably in this next game coming up. They're up 3-1. Then you have the Bucks and the Pistons. I feel like the Pistons probably could have grabbed one of these games if Blake Griffin hadn't been hurt. But the Pistons really seem like a team that shouldn't even have been in the playoffs. I feel like they should have packed it in this year. But these are professional basketball players. They have pride. They're not gonna just whatever, do what the GM and the ownership says and just, go ahead and tank the season. And I think that's how they ended up in the playoffs. I really felt like they should not have put themselves in the situation to go out there and get embarrassed. But hey, the fans enjoyed the series. They showed respect for their guys, and of course, the Bucks closed them out because the Bucks are an outstanding team. Giannis Antetokounmpo is an amazing player, but the Bucks overall are just the best overall team in the league. Period. The Pistons didn't have a chance. Bucks close out 4-0. Then you have the Rockets Jazz. Similar to the other series, like with the Warriors, the Celtics, and the Bucks, the Rockets, like, they should have closed that last game out. They should have closed it out. They kind of chose not to. You can see in the hustle and the body language of the team, they really didn't care. They had already packed it in. I felt like they should have closed the game out, but the Rockets are a streaky team. I feel like they were happy that they got those shooting walls out of the way for this game because they're going to come home to Houston. They're going to close this game out. And I don't think the Rockets are the type of team that should rest because every time they rest, guys come back rusty. And when you have a shooting team that works off a rhythm, that's a terrible thing. So I think they were happy to get this bad game out of the way so they can finish off the Jazz at home, go out to Golden State, and start off strong for those first two games. But of course, like I said, Rockets up 3-1. They will close out on Wednesday. Now you have the 76ers and the Nets. Once again, D'Angelo Russell is a talented player. Dinwiddie is a talented player. Davis, talented player, but they're not ready yet. They're just not ready yet. And the 76ers, on their own process, they're kind of there already. They're ready to take that next step. They're hungrier, they're more talented, and they're just simply longer than the Nets. The Nets had no chance. I was surprised that they even got one game. But, like I said, these are professional players that got pride. It's 3-1 right now. The 76ers are going to close this out. Now, the game or the series that's the most interesting is the Nuggets and Spurs, because it is tied 2-2. It's the only one that seems interesting, but by the time, like I said, the first round is kind of a wash. By the time the Nuggets and Spurs get to 7 games, which is what I think this series will go, some of the other teams will already be starting the second round, which would only help the situation, for the NBA viewership, because you're going to end the first round on a good note, on a strong, eventful game. But let's be honest here, the other 7 series were garbage. They were a waste of time, a waste of energy. And all you really did was just delay the inevitable for, like I said, a lot of teams who just didn't deserve to be in the playoffs. But, like I said, these are just my opinions. As far as a prediction, I still feel like the Nuggets will pull this out. But you're talking about Greg Popovich here, man. The Nuggets better be careful. You better be careful, because I'm telling you right now, the Spurs are the type of team that are going to knock somebody off. And I don't think they'll make it out of the second round. I don't think they have a chance. They don't have the horses. But yeah, they had a chance to knock anybody off. And I think nobody wanted the Spurs. And I think that was the Nuggets' biggest mistake going into the playoffs, by trying to position themselves into a favorable bracket. They ended up with the worst matchup, I'm telling you right now, the Warriors are a confident team, but even they didn't want parts of Greg Popovich and that coaching staff. And notice I didn't say anything about the players. I'm talking about the coach. Nobody wants any parts of Greg Popovich in the playoffs. You don't want that mastermind going against you in the first round. And I think the Nuggets, an inexperienced team, an inexperienced organization, as far as, top to bottom right now, they're not used to the success. I think they just, they showed their hand and it didn't work. Good luck to them. But, they're going to get beat in the second round anyway. So, that's it for this video. Like and subscribe. If you got any comments, hey, just leave a comment, whether you agree or disagree. Once again, it's Torch Sports.